The Child Development Association in the Comox Valley has a surprise for you, and this is Go Island. Of the sensory room for the Child Development Association in the Comox Valley. And everybody is thrilled because this has been in the works for years and years and years. So now, coming up in today's show, we've got interviews with Joanne and of course Susan McDonald. And we've got stories from Dan Kahn, a big summer from him. It's going to be so much fun. Port Alberni and Campbell River, but we're going to start in Royston, where they had their own grand opening just yesterday of a new trail. Have a look. You're watching Go Island, and we are on location today at the Comox Valley Child Development Association for the grand opening of their sensory room. What a great turnout. It's also the end of the year picnic for all of the families that use the services here. It has been a fantastic day so far. The sun is out and shining, and very shortly we are going to have a chance to talk to Susan McDonald, who is one of the occupational therapists, and she's actually retiring, but it was her dedication over the last couple of decades that brought that sensory room to fruition. So right now we're going to head up to Campbell River, and Marjorie Greaves is going to bring us a Did You Know? Did you know this? Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ruth Harris, and we're on location today in the Comox Valley at the Child Development Association. And joining me now is Susan McDonald, who's the occupational therapist, retiring in 2 days. Very excited for that, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And behind us is the new sensory room that you have cut the ribbon for earlier. Why was it so important for you to see this come to fruition?
The sensory room, as an occupational therapist, we work with children who have multitudes of sensory issues, and they can't cope with society the same way we can. And we have some that we call sensory avoiders, and they're very special children who panic and worry and stress. And the sensory room was a concept that's developed to help them become calmer, to remain more focused. And when we're calm and focused and not anxious and worried, we learn better. So we can get them regulated, calm, and feeling good about themselves. The sensory room is set up with a variety of teaching opportunities as well.
Okay.
So once the child's used to the room, we can introduce things and then bring in other disciplines like speech therapy to work on their speech, physiotherapy to work on their stretching, and the autism program to work on some of the objectives that they have. Okay. So it works for a lot of children.
And at what age would you be able to introduce them into the sensory room?
Well, personally, I think I would introduce them very, very young, like baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that would kind of become their safe haven almost when they come here?
Yes.
Okay.
So we would probably start in there and then gradually move into more what we call upregulating activities and go into the gym and do some swings and not need all of the supports.
Okay.
But we can bring some of the supports with us.
Okay.
As gentle introduction or transition to other activities. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the benefit for the children?
The benefit is that they will learn and they will feel safe and confident and comfortable.
Okay. And what's the trickle-down effect of that onto the families?
Well, the families have children who have difficulty with regulation, we call that. So children who become upset stay upset for a long time if they have difficulty with regulation. Okay. So if we can introduce sensory strategies that they can take home with them, we found that perhaps the lighting or a scent or a touch or a deep pressure is the thing that calms their child best, then they can put those things into their bedroom or their home. Okay. So they can change the lighting,
Great. All right, well, thank you so much for explaining to us why the sensory room is so important. And I know that, and great retirement. Good luck on your retirement. I mean, it's so exciting to retire after all these years that you've worked here at the CDA. So all the very best.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we're going to take a short break, but we will be right back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Today, Go Island is on location in the Comox Valley at the Child Development Association, and we are having a picnic. It is the year-end picnic for the families, and it is also the grand opening of the sensory room, which you've heard all about from Susan. And very shortly, we are going to get to interview the brand new executive director, Joanne Schroeder. Very excited about that. Lorraine Aiken, as you know, probably from the show 2 weeks ago, she retired and is now somewhere in Desolation Sound. So, thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ruth Harris, and we are now going to go to Port Alberni, where they have come together as a community to create food. I'm Ruth Harris, and you're watching Shaw TV's Go Island on Channel 4. We are so excited to be here today in the Comox Valley at the Child Development Association Center, and we are with the brand new Executive Director, Joanne Schroeder. How do you feel?
Well, I feel very excited, especially to be part of all this activity today and our grand opening of a sensory room. I feel a little overwhelmed, of course. It's a lot to learn in a short time, but it's a great agency, and I'm just really feeling lucky to be part of it.
And you're coming on board at a time that they're going to be celebrating 40 years this year. That's a huge anniversary to be having in the community. So what are your feelings about 40 years of history that you're now standing on?
It's really quite amazing, and just as I've started to learn more about the history of the agency, how it's grown and changed with the needs of the children and families that are accessing the services here, and also how the community has supported it over those 40 years is so impressive. You know, it's really been a collective effort with support from service clubs and the foundations to really help to contribute over that entire time.
Well, there's that old saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and I think the Child Development Association is a very good example of that. So what are some of the things you have planned for the 40th anniversary? Can you tell us?
I can tell you a little bit. No, they're not secret. The one that's just on the horizon is we're going to have a float in the July 1st parade in Courtney, and I think we'll also try to do the same thing in Nautical Days on the long August weekend. We have all kinds of exciting things getting ready for our big telethon in the fall. We're going to try to do an event every month, so the group is really coming together to think up some new and innovative ideas.
That is awesome. Now you have quite a turnout here today.
Very, very good turnout. I didn't really know what to expect. Of course, this is my first year-end family picnic, so this is a chance for some of the families who receive services here at the Child Development Association to celebrate the end of the year and get ready for summer. We've combined it this time with our grand opening of our sensory room, and so between some of our funders and supporters and our families and staff, I think we've got about 80 plus people here, so it's great. And the sun's shone. Last night it was pouring rain and I was thinking, uh-oh, but it's smiling on us today.
That's awesome. Now, in terms of some of the programs, have you had a chance to sink your teeth into maybe where those programs might go in the next year or two?
Just starting to learn about what some of those priorities might be, but just recognizing that the kinds of quality services that are provided here, the autism program, infant development, the therapies, certainly the occupational therapy and physio, who really will be using our sensory room, the demand for those kinds of services across the board is always increasing. And so, you know, because there's such excellent services, I think the first thing to say is we want to have more of the same, because we really want to grow the things that are working, and looking always for new ways to partner with other community services and agencies. For me, coming new to this job, that's one thing that I'm quite excited about, is how can we collaborate and get some synergies with other people who are supporting kids and families in the Comox Valley.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Look forward to chatting with you a little bit closer to the telethon.
Yes.
And right now we are going to take a short break, but stay right where you are. It's rubbery and it bounces. How cool is that? This is one of the programs that one of the projects this Child Development Association here in the Comox Valley was able to do in the last couple of years. I think it's been 2 years now. And the entire surface is made of old rubberized tires, and they've just been ground down to nothing, but it's so thick if you were to fall, you wouldn't hurt yourself. And that's the whole point, that kids can come out here and play and not get hurt. And now, speaking of kids that go out playing and, well, try not to get hurt, here's Dan Kahn. I'm Ruth Harris. You've been watching Go Island on Shaw TV's Channel 4. We've been here on location in the Comox Valley at the Child Development Association for the grand opening of the Sensory Room and the Family Picnic. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Joanne Schroeder for taking the time to talk with us, as well as the occupational therapist whose dream it was to have the Sensory Room, Susan McDonald. Congratulations on your retirement. And to everybody else, have a fabulous week. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we will see you on Friday.